What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Wealth Not Weight podcast. This is episode 4. We're here today with another very special guest.
Oh, I'm so special.
Please, sir, introduce yourself.
Oh,
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Let me tell you. My name is Johnny Vencill. Facebook me. No, I went to high school with Joey. I'm a local business owner, small business, nothing crazy, but it's a wild ride. It's been crazy since high school finished. Right. But yeah, guess we got some catching up on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. That's part of the reason I'm going to check the camera, make sure it's still doing its thing. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, that's part of the reason why I want to have you on, is just like, especially because not only are you my friend and you're a good friend of mine, but you also have a very similar interest.
Yes.
In the space that
oh yeah, definitely.
We have a very similar story. So
100%.
Tell us a little bit, because obviously we're big on weight loss and just everything.
Oh yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your journey on that, because I know you have a story to tell as well.
Very interesting story. So back in like 10th, maybe 9th grade, I started, wanting to focus on losing weight, because I was a big boy. I mean, Joey remembers. Joey knows. We were both big boys. And it's difficult. Definitely in high school, being a big boy is difficult. Yeah. Especially with the ladies. You want to play sports. You want to go out with your friends. You don't want to be all sweaty all the goddamn time. It was just horrible. Right. It's just terrible.
That's the best part of being sweaty.
Oh yeah, you don't sweat all the time. You just sweat everywhere. You still sweat, but not as bad. You guys, if you haven't been a fat boy, you don't know what sweat is. I'll tell you that much right now. But I was like, I just looked for an outlet. I looked for a way to go. I started at a gym, and I mean, he preaches this too, but nutrition is the way to go. If you don't have the correct diet, you're never going to lose weight. And I shouldn't even say diet, just the way you eat. Like, diet's like a negative word. I feel like it has a bad connotation. But the diet or the way you eat should be your main focus when it comes to weight loss. And that's what I didn't do. I would go to, there was like a local gym, it's called Kinetics. I used to go there all the time, and I work with a personal trainer. And for 3 months, I worked my ass off in the gym. And it just got me nowhere. I lost 5 pounds in 3 months, right? So I was like, what is happening right now? And you know what? Like, my trainer was like, you have determination. What's going wrong, And within the same span, my sister was like, hey, let's go check out this little place I found. So we go and we walk into this place. I mean, it's one of those like corner, like in a closet type of buildings. And I'm like, this place is sketch. And this dude's like, hey, how you doing? He's like the nicest dude I've ever met in my life. And he was like, and my sister was like, hey, let's try it. And now that I look back on it, my sister was going there for me, because my sister's in great shape. She's worked out her entire life. I look up to her a lot in a lot of things. She has a lot of determination. She's a nurse practitioner. She works out. I mean, she could run 10 miles with not even blink an eye. Like, it's crazy, her athleticism. And she danced and she did all this stuff. So she brought me in there for me and pretended it was a joint effort. But I'm grateful for that, because I would not be here today without it. It's crazy. It's weird. And she was like, let's try it. So we try these like protein shake type deals, and he's explaining to me, he's like, it's a full meal replacement, this and that. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, I'll try it. And I tried it. I'm like, this is healthy for me. He's like, yeah, this is healthy. I'm like, no, you're on crack. What do you put in this shit? So he's like, no, it's really healthy. So that day, I sign up for a plan, or not sign up, but I order, stuff for home. That's how it works. You go in, you try it, and you're like, oh, this is good. I can probably work this into my life. So I order the products, and the first week I'm on this nutrition plan with these. The shakes are implemented, so you're eating and using shakes at the same time. And he's heard this 1,000 times, but it's 2 shakes, 2 snacks, and a meal a day. So you replace 2 of your meals a day with shakes. And for me, being in high school, it was so much easier, because I didn't want to have to meal prep and bring food to school and heat it up, find a teacher to let me heat it up. There's no microwaves in high school. You eat the cafeteria food and you shut up, or you don't eat, or you go to McDonald's down on this corner, For fat boys, that's not a good idea, because I'll eat 17 Big Macs. I'll eat an entire Alfredo with a pizza on the side. So the shakes were just, I don't know, they worked. They were simple for me, and then I would go home and eat whatever dinner, and I could bring snacks. You could bring, whatever. I would bring almonds and Greek yogurt. I put it in my little lunchbox, and within the first week, I lost 5 pounds. And I knew from then on, that was the difference. Right. My mind wasn't on like, oh, supplements are the key, or like shakes are what's doing it. But I was like, I'm eating good foods and I feel good. But I stopped working out. I take that back. So for the first 3 months, I was like, let me just lose some weight. I'm not comfortable going to the gym. I never felt comfortable in the gym. I was a big fat boy. I felt like everyone was looking at me, which is not true. Now that I know gym culture, no one cares. Everyone's there for themselves. If you ever feel not confident in going to the gym, just go. Yeah. No one's judging. I promise you, no one's judging you.
Yeah,
Everyone wants the
props.
best for you. They want the opposite. If you ask a random person in a gym a question, I guarantee 99% of the time they're going to give you an answer that's genuine from what their perspective is. Not that it's going to be true, but don't listen to everyone in the gym. But yeah, I stopped going to the gym for 3 months and I lost 30 pounds. And then I felt comfortable going back to the gym because I was more comfortable in my own body. So I was like, yeah, let's do this. And then over a span of probably a year, maybe a year and a half, I lost 95 pounds, which was huge. I mean, that's
pretty good.
I was skinny. I was a small boy. He'll probably throw my picture up there somewhere. I'll send him it, but
I'll find it.
yeah, you can find it on Instagram. But I had a runner's body. I was running. I was doing all this stuff. I felt great. Still doing the same nutrition plan and everything. And I don't know. It led to a lot of things. I love it. So.
Right. And that's a lot of like what I have with it. I remember you saying like, oh, I went to the gym and I didn't try anything.
Yeah.
Or I didn't lose any weight. That's what I did in 9th grade when I was really happy. I was like, I said, let me go to the gym. Let me
Right.
try out. And I went to the one by the restaurant, and Dad signed it up. It's like, $30 a month, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
And I would do that. I would work out. I would, follow the thing. They had a little trainer to coach you at
Oh,
first.
Yeah. The little Planet Fitness corner trainers.
And they're just like, oh, there's these machines. And I said, oh, okay,
Oh, cool.
I like
Yeah.
it. But then immediately after, I go to the restaurant and be like, okay, let me have a chicken parm.
Yep.
And that was what fucked
That was
me
a
up.
big thing for me too. I would leave the gym and go eat something terrible. I was like,
yeah. And that's just like,
now I look back, I'm like, what, am I stupid? Like, what was it? Because you feel good. You feel like when you work out, you're like, oh, I just burned whatever X amount of calories. So let me just go eat something. That you don't realize that when you burn those calories, that's to help you stay under your caloric, stay in your caloric deficit, not to free you up to eat whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of like when I talked about it in the book, and I talked about it even in like early YouTube videos. It's just like exercise isn't gonna knock out the calories for you.
No.
It's like, and I did a piece of chocolate cake from the restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, this is like a nice piece of chocolate cake. The whole thing, it's 500 calories. And then everybody, it's also, I feel like part of it is the education. Like everybody's just like, oh, if I want to lose weight, let me run on the treadmill.
Yep.
If you
Not
run
a
on the
thing.
treadmill, it's like,
No.
in order to do that, I think it was like 4 hours I'd have to
Yep.
run. And like, it's like 12
Yeah,
miles.
if you're not full sprinting, it's gonna be a while before you burn 400 calories. It's
And then not to mention like all the other like adverse, like it's not going to make you fat then, let's just say.
Right.
But all the other adverse health effects, like you're not getting the
Yep.
proper carbs, you're not getting the right fats in you.
yeah, you're getting the
get
wrong type
tired
of
the
carbs.
first-
You're not getting protein. You're not getting anything that's worthwhile with a cake. I mean, nothing wrong with cake every once in a
Oh,
while.
yeah.
Obviously, you have to enjoy life.
Yeah,
but
indulgable, but
yeah.
and it's just like, and that was the same thing. Then I was like, when I didn't lost the first 50 pounds, I didn't go to the gym at all.
Yep.
And then I went to the gym after the fact. Like after the same day I told the story about it here. The same day I did the 5K
Mm-hmm.
was then the same day I went to the gym for the first time.
Yep.
Like since I had
It's
lost.
funny
the
that
weight.
it's one of the first things I did too. Is I started running. I did a 5K in like 38 minutes, and I was like, "This is amazing! I did a 5K."
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It's awesome feeling that way.
Yeah. It really is.
Being in that progression too is one of the funnest parts. You don't realize it until you're done, but when you look back, you're like, "Damn, that was fun." Now I have to maintain. What is
Yeah, now
this?
you just-
Oh,
this-
what?
what
No,
is
come
this?
on.
And that's like I think the challenge of it too is just
Keeping
like,
it off.
especially people, I mean, you're a small business owner.
Mm-hmm.
I quit and doing like entrepreneurial type
Yeah.
stuff. It's like, I think that's a big thing. And even reading up on it, that's what I really understood is like the challenge of improving yourself for most people is just like such a amazing thing. It's just like, that's what
Yep.
keeps you going. Like, oh, hey, I'm doing something.
And it scales
works.
every time.
Yeah.
So you want to improve, and then like you want to improve again, and it's not just for yourself too. It's because you feel like people are watching you.
Yeah.
In our shoes, like there's people watching us.
Yeah.
Not in a cocky way or an arrogant way or anything like that, but I have eyes on me. Like
Yeah.
I'm 21 and I'm what's Johnny's next step?
Yeah, really.
He opened a business. Now what?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, man.
Okay,
I'm working on it.
yeah.
Chill out.
Especially
I'm
like-
far ahead already. It feels weird that I have pressure, but I have a lot of pressure for myself.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. Is like people, you put pressure on yourself, and everybody does it in different scales. I feel like, and it's a big part of progression. And I think it starts later in most people, which it shouldn't.
Yeah.
I think
100%.
it should start in high school. High school is one of the most defining moments in your life.
Yeah.
I hate when people say, "Oh, you peaked in high school." Well, no, a lot of the character definition comes in high school.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about people. You're around the most people you'll ever be in your life. For a majority of people, you're never going to be in that group of people every single day unless you work in a giant office, which no one wants to do that.
And you're the most vulnerable, I think, too.
Oh yeah, I mean your hormones are peaking. You're going through all these, this girl like me, this and that. But these are the most important things in your life. But really that shouldn't be the most important thing in your life. You should be focusing on your future already. Once you hit 11th, 12th grade, I think 9th and 10th grade are kind of, you can't really do much when you're 14 and 15. Until you get a car, I feel like you can't really do too much.
That's what
you can.
Up, yeah.
Yeah, but you can do you could probably start a drop shipping business or something online. I mean TikTok is the way to go now, but you can once you've got a car, there's really no excuse. You can do something. But put the pressure on yourself. It's not bad to pressure yourself every once in a while.
Yeah.
Hold yourself to a certain standard.
I think definitely for like that kind of okay, I have and like I told like anybody who like when I was especially when I work at Target, they'd be like, there's like a level of I'm graduating now. I gotta find out what I gotta do. I gotta learn what I gotta do in life. This that. I'm like, here's the way I look at it. It's you have and I told them because they're like 18. I said you have what maybe. Let's give it a good 62 years to figure out what you want to do in life. They're like, what? So I live until 80? I'm like, you have the rest of your life to figure out what you want to do. Yeah. But that doesn't mean be like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
Actively go 100%. Out and be like, I'm going to try everything,
try this, try that. This is the time to try.
Yeah. But I'm not going to beat myself up over it.
That's the thing,
let's
too.
Let's try everything now. I'm between the ages of, that's what I did before on my 6 months off.
Yeah.
Before I went to college for like a semester.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm going to take all this time and find out everything that I want to do. Even things I'm like, I would never like that in a million years. I tried it, I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Just go figure yourself out. And
you never know.
Eventually you'll be like, oh wow.
You'll find something that clicks and you're like, dude, I want to dive into this.
Yeah.
And I literally just saw a video like 2 hours before I walked in. This dude, I don't know, I think it was David Giggins. Is that the guy that does like he runs like 100 miles a day?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I think that's.
He's like, you want to become like so good at something. Find something you love, and you want to become so good at it that other people look at you like you're crazy. People look at him like he's insane for running 100, but he loves it. That's what he loves. You know what I'm saying? He's got discipline. That's like, it made a lot of sense to me. Like, people look at you like you're crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Happens to me occasionally. People will be like, you're 21, you're already. I'm like, what if I fail? I'm 20. I turned 22. I just turned 22. Yeah. Ooh. But if I fail now, I'm still in my 20s. Yeah. I have time. If you're in your 30s, you have time. If you're in your 40s, you have time. You're gonna look back in 10 years and you're gonna be like, why didn't I do that? Yeah. And you're just gonna keep jumping to regret. And if you keep looking to the back, you're never gonna look forward, and you're never gonna just try. There's just something to do.
I think absolutely. That's what like Warren Buffett or anytime, and that's really I think what set me. Other than like the whole fitness part of it and like me losing weight personally, that one and I remember telling you about it when I did it. That one spring break, something clicked with me about like investing and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, let me learn about it. And I watched all these people, these successful people, and I was like, oh my god, like.
Yeah, Graham Stephan and all those guys. Yeah.
It's like do what you love consistently, like tap dance to work. It's just because anytime like they have videos out there, they'll be like. Everybody who's like the kids like 8 to like 90 years old or 105. Yep. They take all these people and they go, "What's your biggest regret in life?" And then of course all the younger kids are like, either one, I don't have any, or two, it's just like, man, I wish I would have tried harder at the soccer game. It's like, that's something that's important at the time. But as you get older, it goes to, I wish I would have tried harder at things I love. I wish I would have started a family. I wish I would have asked that person out. I wish I would have, been like, fuck it, I'm gonna move to China and take that job. Yeah. And then when people are dying, they'll either, one, have a lot of regrets, which sucks because you can't do anything then, or two, it's just like, no, I don't have any regrets. Yeah. I did what I wanted to do. It didn't work out, oh well, I tried it,
Yeah. Yeah, the thing, it's a big thing, like, the majority of the time, when you do something or go to do something or go to try something, the worst you're going to get is a no. Yeah. It's not, don't go throwing money at things like crazy, but ask the person out. What are they? No. Okay. Cool. It's a big thing in sales, too, or anything like that. You're going to get no's all day, but you're going to get a yes somewhere. Yeah. I guarantee you that. You're going to get a yes somewhere. The more you do it, the better you get at it. It's freaky how good you can get at something. It's crazy freaky how good you can get at something. Repeating the same thing, it's almost like repetition's key to the majority of things. You just keep doing it over and over again, you get so good at it. It's weird. I don't know. The more I do something, the more I keep doing it. I'm like this, and then you get comfortable doing it, and then you're good. The first 100 times, if they're uncomfortable, they're uncomfortable. Yeah, well, you learn. What happens? The world's gonna keep turning. You're gonna keep walking. I promise you that. Especially like I do flyering. A lot of flyering. I'll go person to person. I'll do business to business. I don't leave them on cards. I go person to person. Hey, how you doing today? Here's a free coupon. Whatever. It's free. They say no harm, no foul. It's not like I'm trying to sell them something. That's just to open the gate. Yeah. And I've gotten more than no's than yeses majority of the time right now. Especially people are just not wanting to take flyers. COVID's a thing, like all that. So people are saying no a lot, but you know what? 40% yes, I'll take that.
Yeah, fuck it.
Even if it's 1,000 cards every week and 40% of 1,000, you know, you're getting bad math 400 people in a day, you know, or a week. That's crazy.
I was saying,
So
fuck it, that point.
the more you do too, the more volume you put in, the more yeses you get. It doesn't matter how many no's you get yeses. I promise you're gonna get a yes. Even if you suck, you're gonna get a yes.
I was gonna say eventually, and that's like, I think that's what like a lot of, and I watched like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, any major fitness people, like anybody who's ever in the military and then does fitness after, anybody, they're just like, I think that's what school, I think that's what society, I think that's what everybody's so afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Failure is your friend.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, if you succeed, awesome, great, you succeeded.
Yep.
Maybe you learned something from it, maybe you didn't.
Yep.
But when you fail, you're just
You
like,
learn.
oh, I learned something. Where did I go wrong?
Yep.
And you sit there, you learn from it, you try it again. Eventually, okay. After, like you said, 1,000 times.
You're good at it.
You're
good. I promise
and not
you.
everybody's going to say yes still, but you understand, okay, I know this person has a better chance of it. I know this area has a, like Ubering. When I first started, I made like fucking $20 a night.
Yeah.
Now I can make, you know, if it's a good night, I can make like...
You learn the little tweaks, you learn the little things
you
here
learn
and
my area,
there.
how
Yep. You know where to go, you know the hot spots.
how to handle people.
Yep.
And then you just like, eventually, you're just like, okay, because I, you know, this situation, even with the restaurant, like this situation, when somebody had an issue with something, okay, I fucked that up. I didn't handle it the way I should have.
Right.
And then eventually, anytime somebody came to me with an issue, I had either the tools or the know-how how to figure out how to solve that problem.
We get to it quick, Let's get this done. So,
same thing with Target. It was just, everybody's just like, how are you so good with people? It's just like, because I
been doing it for so long, yeah.
What's the worst that happens? Somebody comes over. I mean, worst case scenario in a job setting, you get fired.
Yeah.
Oh well, you know, you have to, you know, figure out.
But a job, I mean, the job like Target, there's thousands of them in this area. So
I was just saying, you know, it's unfortunate, but if you did what you thought was right, that at the end of the day, you got in that hill.
Yep.
But at least you weren't afraid to go out and try. Even in
business,
oh, I put some money into it, as long as it's, you know, not millions of dollars of your life savings.
Right.
Now
don't throw all your eggs in one basket ever. But you know,
definitely
definitely take risks, but don't put your toe in there.
And that's like with everything, like, okay, because that was the same thing, like you said, like, okay, I'm young. It's just I'm 21 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I had everything I did from this to, you know, say I started an auto body shop or a video game, this or that. Say everything I did until the time I'm 30, I failed miserably at.
Yeah.
But then when I'm 30, I had that one big break, that's all it takes.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
You tried 10 things.
At 30. Oh, yeah, that's real fair.
You had 10 years in your 20s. Say 20s. Say you try one thing a year.
Yeah.
Do you think not one of those things is going to do something?
Yeah.
Put all of your effort that you have, that you can put outside of your priorities, because there are priorities in life and there's obligations. You have to make money. You have to do this. But that extra time, put a bunch of it in there.
Yeah.
You know, if you have kids, spend your time with your kids. Do what you. But I guarantee you have 2 hours a day that you can put away.
Yeah.
You know, and if you have 2 hours a day you can put into a passion project, I guarantee it's going to go somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
You know,
right? Eventually,
it has to. There's no way it doesn't.
I did the math on it, and I can't remember what it was exactly now, but I remember it's just like, and that's like anybody who like talks about it, they're just like, you have an hour somewhere, or 20 minutes somewhere. Like if you ride a bus, if you're in the bathroom, it's just like, okay, say you don't know how to do something, but you really want to. Say I want to be an animator.
Yeah.
I have zero animating or drawing experience.
Yeah.
And at work, I do stuff. At Target, I got 15-minute breaks.
Yep.
Okay, I have a cup of water, I have my snack, I watch a 10-minute video. Okay,
10 minutes
after
a
I know
day.
how to do it, I draw. Say I spend 30 minutes a day. After a year,
you're going to have that crap.
Yeah, that's 153 hours?
Yep.
No, 103.65, 130, what's that, 133? 133 hours worth of work.
Yeah.
And I work or study or something, you do something for 133 hours, you're going to get good at it.
Yeah.
And after a year or two, you may, okay, cool, guess what, now I'm a professional animator, I can send something to Disney. And then maybe they'll hire me.
That's a big thing with that too. Like, say you learn that, and you learn something else, and you learn something else. Now when you talk to people, and they do something, you know about it.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing, because when building relationships, is a big thing is just like connections. So say like you practice animating for a year, you meet a guy on the road, maybe you're talking to him at the store and you get talking about animating and this and that, and then you build that relationship with him and come to find out he works at this place and they give you, you know, a job there because, oh, I had a great conversation with this guy. Now he's put a recommendation in here for me. Yeah. It's 1 in a million. You never know.
Yeah,
You're building these relationships. I think relationships are key in everything.
Yeah, not just network, it's network.
Yep.
That's the whole, I think.
Oh yeah. I just like knowing people is such a big deal. I got to go to the Bucks game for 10% of the price at normal because I knew somebody, and that's great. And I was grateful for it. But it's just because you know people, and it's great to know people. That's just really what it is.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And I had like those like work connections with stuff. Like I remember I went to It was like a shoe thing.
Yeah.
It was like one of the shoe conventions, one of the big ones over here. And I never had an interest in anything design or shoes or anything whatsoever. But I went and I was like, cool. I ended up running into a friend from the restaurant.
Yep.
I ended up just sitting next to him by happenstance. I was sitting there and we're looking at each other and I'm like,
I know you.
Yeah, I was like, so you come to these things often? He's like, you're like Joe from like Bella Tie, right? And I was like, yeah, you're so and so.
And he probably hasn't seen you since you lost.
Yeah. He's like, he's like, and I'm like, you're so and so, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, you were our busboy, right? He's like, yeah, we haven't seen each other in years. Like, you were our busboy that one summer. Yeah, what's up, man? And that's it. And then we ended up working together. And then we worked with these dudes behind us who they have like a shop in St. Pete.
Yeah.
And then we ended up like doing this like 4-booth thing. And then one dude knew like a rapper, and the rapper came over, so he's looking at all our stuff.
And it just built from there.
Yeah, and everybody came over and like, what the fuck? Like, these guys are having such a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I sold maybe like 3 things, but I'm dancing around like I sold $2 million. We're laughing, we're doing the basketball things. And it was fucking
you
great.
make 10 shots at the ready, you get free shoes or whatever.
And we sit there, so we had a really great time, and it was just, I learned so much. I created this network of people. Now I have people if I wanted to do something like that.
Yeah.
Or I want information. I have people now on Instagram I can be like, hey, you know, I was doing this thing with a shirt. How the fuck did you do this and this?
Right.
Like,
and most people love to share what they know.
Yeah.
I haven't met, like, people love sharing their passion. If they really like doing something, they'll talk about it for hours and hours and hours. Like, there's this dude that comes into my shop. He's, like, in his 80s, and he's huge in crypto. I don't know how an 80-year-old got huge into crypto, but he knows his stuff. So I was like, hey, you want to talk about it? Because it was a slower day, so we sat for an hour, and we just went through crypto. He's like, this is how you do this, this, and this, and this. And it was just a great conversation. I learned so much about crypto in that span of time. And that's my best. I learn best one-on-one like that. Someone's teaching me something and they're sitting me down and showing me. And it's one-on-one. I just learn so good like that. I don't learn that good in the class setting. But if I'm getting mentored, it's so nice. And that felt like a small mentorship. Like, I felt like I should have paid for that.
Right, yeah.
I took a bunch of money and just threw it into some stuff after that conversation and it's already grown. Yeah. You know, it's up like 8% within 3 months, which is crazy for you know, compared to the stock market. Yeah, that's average or more. So, and he's like, yeah, just leave it for 5 years, this and this. And I was like, oh, I mean, I'm going to listen to you, because he showed me his accounts and I was like, wow. I was just,
like, yeah, you've done.
I believe you.
Yeah.
You've proven to me. So, but yeah, he was passionate, and especially with the older generation, they don't have they don't have a lot of people to talk to.
Yeah.
And I love talking to older people because they always have something to share. Even if it's just a casual conversation, they just want to talk to somebody, because a lot of people don't see their grandmas. They don't put the effort into even like your parents. People, when they hit 40, they don't go see their parents. I'm like, that's crazy to me.
Especially different states. Oh, that's it. You're more than an hour away. That's it. They never fucking.
That's insane to me. I just don't get it.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
They said, I watched a dude, and he was talking about that. He goes, "How old are your parents?" And he was telling this other dude. I forgot who it was. It was one of. I want to say it was like Simon something. It was one of the glasses dudes. One of the big, you know, money type influencer dudes. And he was like, "How old are your parents?" And he's just like, "Parents are like, you know, 80 something." He's like, "How often do you see them?" He goes, "Maybe twice a year." He goes, "So let's say they live till they're 90, right?" He's just like, "Yeah." He's like, "You have what, 10 more years with your parents?" And he's like, "Yeah, about." He goes, "No." He goes, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You think that you have 10 years?" He goes, "You see them twice a year for years. You have 20 times to see your parents left before they die."
Yeah.
He goes, "Think about that." He's like, "So you stay for a couple of days, you have what? Maybe a month worth of actually seeing your parents?" The guy's like, "Fuck, I want to call my mom now."
Yeah.
It's like people don't, and then I remember I was in 8th grade, and I talked to my math teacher, Mr. Donald, and he was a taller dude, probably like taller than you are, and he was a tall dude, and
big boy.
He loved what he does teaching, and you know, just especially the teaching math and everything, and just making sure, not just teaching to the test. He hated doing that. Like, anytime somebody came from the county, he'd make sure you go out of his way to annoy the fucking.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
So, but he was so energetic and exciting, and I was one like, well, can he like me? And I was like able to talk to him and like, you know, be real with him. So I was like one of the few people I got to interview him for the yearbook.
Nice.
I remember the yearbook teacher, like, he never does interviews. And he interviewed, and I said, well, like, what's like one piece of advice that you'd give someone, you know, going out? He's like, make sure you spend time with your loved ones. He's like, I think he had lost his family recently, or it was a couple years ago. I don't remember exactly, but he's like, you know, I was reading about it recently. Funny you asked that question. He goes, make sure you spend time with them, because that's it. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yep.
And I was like, fuck, wow.
Yeah, that's one thing, and that's guaranteed temporary. Yeah. Yeah. And your relationships can go in a second.
Yeah.
Never know.
That's that time, like everybody, and that's like another thing. I seen that oddly enough, 8th grade. Now thinking about it, was an odd year for me.
Yeah.
It was like a good year because like I watched the first time I've ever seen the Steve Jobs speech I've ever seen at Stanford. Mm-hmm. He's just like remembering, and this was like when he had pancreatic cancer, but he thought they had beat it at the time, but they didn't.
Right.
He said, remembering I'm going to die is like the best thing I could ever do. He's like, if I look at myself in the mirror when I wake up and I say, if today was my last day on earth, would I want to do what I'm about to do today?
Yeah.
And when it's no, too many days in a row, I gotta make a change.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like saying, okay, cool, we're 21 now, we got a shit ton of, 20, 22.
We think we do.
Yeah.
Right.
We got a shit ton of time, like realistically, but also in
Yeah.
the same aspect, you got a shit ton of time to actually do something. If you squander it, it goes quick.
Yep.
So it's just like, now every time I sit there and I catch, like I have on my phone, I have a limiter on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll still use it for business stuff or posting content. But I'll be like, okay, cool.
Scrolling too long.
If I'm scrolling and you just forget it.
Yep.
Like I'll be like, oh, let me watch something for 10 minutes and like an hour could go by.
That's an hour.
Yeah. I was like, that's an hour of my life I'm never going to get back. So now after like 20 minutes, it's like, hey, like it'll like lock me out and I got to enter a code and go through a process.
Like,
and 9 times out of 10, I'll be like,
remind you why you're doing it,
something. And I get to type in the message too, so it's just like, you have something you need to be doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, you're going to die soon.
Yep.
And I'm like,
oh
yeah, fuck, that's right.
Let me get introspective real quick.
let me start editing my video.
Something, yeah.
It's just like, fuck, like, you gotta do something with that.
You got time.
Yeah. You gotta do something with that time. It's crazy.
There's always something to be doing, seems like.
100%.
Which, I mean, you gotta relax too, but
yeah,
it's always something you can be doing.
Yeah.
Don't just waste hours away. That's a big thing with high school too. You have free time.
A lot of free time.
Majority of the time. And a lot of people have to work outside of high school, which sucks. I mean, I had to work out of high school too, so, but I still had time. You have really, really no fiscal responsibilities outside of small things.
Yeah, very, very small.
So you have more room for error and for risk taking. You can take more risk because you don't have a bunch of obligations. You know, you don't have rent to pay.
That's it. Yeah.
Most of the time, I have to say there are people in treacherous situations.
Yeah, that's always.
In majority of people's situation, when you're in high school, you're not paying rent. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Take those risks while you can. I'd say.
Yeah, I think especially, and that's like something I thought about. I used to drive around a lot and just like listen to music.
Yeah.
And then once I realized like Uber was a big thing, and all that, I was just like, imagine.
Drive around, listening to music, and make money.
Yeah, I was like, I could just drive around and like imagine if from 18, because I didn't start till 20. Well, yeah, 20. Mm-hmm. So 18 to 20, that's 2 years.
2 years of money you could have just been making.
I could have been making, and even still, even if I just did it once a week, twice a week, and then also worked the rest.
Probably an extra $3,000 a year.
Yeah, I would have doubled. I mean, you could do $80 to $100 in a day.
Mm-hmm.
If I did that and I was driving around for 6-7 hours just listening to music, like burning gas like no one.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if I would have done that, I could have made double and if not triple the money I made.
Yep.
Instead of just driving around aimlessly doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm already doing it,
Might as well put some
money
on it.
Yeah, get creative with it,
Yeah.
And that's the same thing, like, when I learned about, like, priority stuff, it's just like, I think, like, I love what I do with everything. I love setting everything up. I love creating and doing it and coming up with weird ideas.
Yeah.
And I love doing that, and in the same token, it's just like, I also don't feel guilty if I'm, like, out, like, when we went to go watch the Bucks game, I don't feel guilty about that at all. No. Because I'm like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friends.
That's important.
This is a
Very
memory
important.
I'm going to make.
Right.
Yeah. There's a memory I'm going to make. One of my
I
want
to look back and say, hey, I did what I can to be successful, but I also did what I could to enjoy life.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to look back and be like, I didn't spend any time with my friends. I spent all my time working.
Yeah.
What?
That's like the why.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, money is great.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with making money, but that number in your bank account is not going to outbeat the memories you make with people.
Oh, yeah.
I love looking back at things. Now Snapchat memories that like 6 years ago, I'm like, what? 6 years ago? But I'll see someone, I'll be like,
it's homecoming.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Really?
And you'll see that, you'll be like, that was a good time. I enjoyed that. Like, and, like, that's why I mean, friends, and I wanted to get into this. This is one of the things that I was like going to bring up at some point and try to ease my way into it. Friendships after school, after college, I'd say, because I didn't go to college. So I only went for a semester. You didn't go to college either. High school and college are pretty similar in terms of making friends. Yeah. There's always friends. When you leave those positions, your friends dwindle fast. Yeah. And I've noticed within my own friend groups recently, even it's hard to get people together. And it's important to remember, like, get together with your friends. Yeah. There's only limited time with them too. Yeah. You're gonna be getting married soon and having kids in these moments. We're not gonna be able to do this shit anymore.
You can't do it all the time.
You're not gonna be able to go out and have fun. We have time to go out and have fun. Yeah. This is the time to do it. If you're gonna do it now. I work 65 hours a week and I'll find a goddamn way to have fun. Yeah, it's not. You gotta find some time. Yeah. Everyone has relationships and stuff like that, but your friends are your guys or your girls, or even if you have a mix of gender friends, it doesn't matter. Like, just have fun with your friends, you know, and you build your relationship, but you got to be able to do both.
Yeah, for real.
Because your friends are going to go by fast, you know. I don't know. It's weird. It's hard because you want your friends to be at that level with you, but they don't. Like, some people just aren't at that understanding, so it's hard. But
some people are, like, different, too. Like, I know people I have, and it's funny you brought that up because I remember doing that at, like, high school, like, when we got graduated. But even, like, people who say, like, now, because, like, you own your business, I'm doing my entrepreneur type thing, it's both easier and tougher for us to do stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, well, I can't just drop what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it's also like,
in high school you could be like,
my time.
hey, buddy, let's go.
Let's go.
Right now. Now it's like, hey, brother, this Sunday, would you like to go out at exactly 4 p.m.?
Yeah, exactly.
But you could still do it.
Exactly.
But it's easier for me now when people ask me a week in advance.
Yeah.
Definitely more than asking me right away.
And it's just like people who now I know work, like I had some people over and we had to do a thing. They still work at Target, my Target group. I know, okay, I need to make plans for them a month in advance.
Yeah, because they have to call off.
They're all going to have to work.
Yeah.
I know every single one of them are, because they've been there for years, they're like top of positions that they do.
Yeah.
If not, they're going to be there that day.
Yep.
Well, even like people like, hey, we got something planned. They're like, oh, especially now, like the labor shortage. Hey, I'm the one of the person who could do this job. Or called me in and said, hey, come in. And some of them, I mean, I remember when I was at that point, I'd be like, fuck you, I don't care. You know, fire me, what are you going to do? I know it's easier to get another job than it is to replace memories.
100%.
But then, like, you know, some people are like, hey, I'm not in the same position, I need to do this at this point. And so it's kind of rough being like, oh, hey, they have a completely different way of life and scheduling now from what I do. And then we're still trying to commingle and mix that. So it's just like I said, we have to find a way.
You have to.
Got to do it somehow.
Even if it's a phone call.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot more phone calls with my friends that I know I can't see. I'll call them and be like, hey, what's up, buddy? How's life? Like, how you doing? I love you. Just letting you know, like, I'm still here. Like, care about you. Because that can make a big difference. Even a text. Yeah. If you don't text your friends at least once a month, they're not your friends. If you don't text them and say, hey, how you doing? Like, are you alive? Like, you know, how's work? How's this? Because I mean, I appreciate any text like that. Yeah. If I get that from anybody, I appreciate it. Yeah. I hold those people to a higher standard, you know? Like, it's like, hey, that's awesome that this person thought about me in passing, you know?
Said, hey, what's up?
Hey, that's all it takes is, hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Because I know friends who are doing jobs and are in school, and they're working, I mean, more than I'm working, which is ridiculously crazy, studying for tests, whatever, but they still will reach out to me and say, hey, what's up? Or I'll reach out to them, hey, what's up? We can have a 15-minute conversation once a month, and I still will say that's one of my friends, you know? You don't have to go out and do stuff. I mean, you should try as much as you can to go out and enjoy your friendships, but it's nice to hear from people.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if I haven't heard from them in a year and they reach out to me, I'm right back open. It's like, hey, what's up, man? How you been? How's life?
Yeah, that's like, what's good. I know people like I haven't seen since high school.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, what's up? Like, I'll see him in pass and we'll stop. We'll have a 20-minute conversation. All right, I go back doing, all right, yeah, man, it was good seeing you. And then I see him.
You have another year?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
you talk to them again? Yeah. You might not even have interest with these people, but you find something in common.
Yeah, for real.
You even care. Most people care, too. I found that out. At least our generation's way better at it, but most people care. Yeah. Generally speaking, they take interest in what you have to say. Right. So it's nice.
Do you think social media makes that easier, or do you think it makes it harder?
It's a double-edged sword. Okay. That's what I always tell people, like, because people leave Facebook comments, oh, glad to hear, but I'll never hear from them outside of Facebook, and I feel like that's wrong. But it's nice to be able to update people who you know you're never going to see. Yeah. You know, like if you get married, you're not going to be able to invite everyone to your wedding, but you'd like to see, I love to see people getting married on Facebook. Oh, hey, that's great. Nice to see, like, you know, happy for you guys. And then I think that's just the level of how close you are with somebody. But if you only hear from someone on Facebook, they're not your friend. Yeah. They're your acquaintance. It's just how it is. Yeah. Like, people used to send each other mail when, you used to send letters to people when they got married. Right. Like, or a card, like, hey, congrats. Because you didn't go to their wedding, but you're still happy for them. Now, Facebook made it easier. Right. But it also takes relationships away, I feel like. Like, Snapchat's a big one for me. I ended all my streaks recently. Like, I seen that, I remember. I had to tell people, I was like, it's not personal. I knew you would know. That's why I didn't say anything. But, like, there's no point. If we're not talking, why am I Snapchatting you my face once a day? Like, I don't even go on Snapchat that much anymore. Yeah. So, it's great for business, and it's great for, like, a few friendships that I have here and there. But other than that, like, ugh.
That's like Instagram. Like, on my personal Instagram, I don't think I've posted since... Anytime there's a major life event that I feel like I should update, like when I got a new car. Yeah. It's just like, hey, this is something that's extraordinarily important to me. Yeah. And I want to share that with people who care about me. It's like, not like, oh, look at me, but it's like...
Not a flex, but it's like an update. Like, hey...
It's like, look at this cool thing that I did. Hey, I remember Oh, we talked about it 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I want to show you guys.
Yeah,
Look,
right.
This
I did it.
Yeah, look, I did it. Look, remember that thing we talked about? Look, this is still
You probably don't, but I did it.
Right, yeah.
So,
it's, oh, that's cool. And you get to, sometimes, or like Snapchat. I have like 5 streaks.
yeah.
It's always the people I consistently talk with.
Yeah, you're already talking to them, so
Yeah.
there is a streak there. You
And
know?
I'll use that to like bridge off. Like anytime I see a memory, I'll send that to someone.
Yeah, I like that.
Especially
That's a big thing for me. I love Snapchat.
Yeah.
That's why I continue to use it for like I'll go and do something, I'll post it on my story because it's almost like a personal bank now. I can look back on it anytime. It'd be crazy if Snapchat goes away. All the memories and all that stuff, you don't get to see it anymore. So
I know Google Photos, I'll get weird shit with that too, and that's like since before. Like I've had that since middle school.
Yeah.
So I'll get stuff like, hey, you took this picture when you were 12.
Yep.
Here's your group of friends then. And I'm like,
yeah, iPhone does that with like, because I have the same iCloud account through all my years, so all my pictures save. So I can see pictures all the way back to like 2013 when I first got an iPhone. This is crazy. You look back at it, like, whoa.
yeah. I'm big with that. Like I'll take, even if it's just like a random fucking photo.
Yep.
But you'll see even at the beach.
Like New Orleans, I took pictures of landscape and stuff just so I can look back and be like, wow, that's cool. I went to New Orleans. Like, you forget that you go to these places and then you look back and you're like, oh my God, I went to New Orleans. Like, that is crazy.
The only time I ever left the country was Canada, and I got something the other day. I was like, where the fuck was I? And I was looking, I'm like,
oh, I was in Canada.
I was like,
yeah, I have your little Canadian bottle opener. I'm like, dude, Joey went to Canada.
I was sitting there looking at it, and then someone brought up poutine the other day. And I was just talking about it, and they're like, where'd you have poutine at? Was that somewhere local? And I was like, oh no, I had that when I was in Canada.
I was in Canada.
Like, you went to Canada? I was like, yeah, I forgot. I was like, yeah. Like, there'll be times like I'll remember, and everybody's like, we get it, you went to Canada.
Yeah.
And there'll be other times just somebody's just like, what the fuck?
You went to Canada?
I knew you for 3 years.
God damn it.
I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's just like one of those fun things. It's just like, oh shit, I remember that now. It's just like,
right.
oh, I'll do a thing, or I'll grab random pictures. Like anytime I go up to FSU and I'll talk to the guys at FSU.
Mm-hmm.
We sat there. I was like, it was one of the little Chipotle restaurants, and we were talking about something. And I was like, what day was that? What were we doing? We're all sitting there. There's like 6 of us trying to remember.
Right.
And I was like, I got it.
I hold this.
Google. I scroll back like 6 years, and I'm like, this is what we were doing. Oh shit, I remember. And then we went from there to present day.
It's like scrapbooks. They're like photo albums back in the day. My mom will pull out a photo album and throw it in front of me like, look what you're a baby. Yeah. Like, I do that on my phone now.
Yeah, I do it on my phone now. That's just really
it's the same thing though. You look back at what you did with your bros, you're like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
We did that. Yeah.
And then we'll sit there. We went from like, it was like 2016. We went from 2016 to like, oh, dude, I can't believe we did that last night.
Yeah.
We were there for like an hour and a half, and we're like, wait, fuck, we had shit to do today.
I think the IHOP story will go down in history books.
Oh, well, for real.
Like, we don't need any pictures of that. We'll see a picture of the Hard Rock, and the first thing we're gonna think of is the IHOP. Yeah.
I wrote a review the other day about that. I gotta send it to you. I wrote it. It's like,
how to charge back an IHOP.
yeah, look at that.
101.
I don't do it. I remember it was fucking weird. I called, and that's like one of the things for like. Anytime it's good because like the debit cards, everybody's like, oh no, credit cards are the only thing that has super security on them. No. Debit cards nowadays have the same shit.
Yeah.
So I called up and I'm just like, here's the situation on what happened. And they're just like, yeah, fuck that. We're just giving you your money back. Like, we're not even, because I called the company already. I was super nice about it.
Yeah, your bank was like, no.
Yeah, nobody ever contacted me back. They gave me an account number. I called the account number. They said it didn't even work. Yeah. So they're just like, yeah, no, fuck that. We're just giving you our money back.
Yeah. They don't care. Yeah. IHOP is IHOP.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Especially if it's like $10. No one.
Yeah, they're not really pushing for it. If you paid the whole tab, then they would have been like, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Maybe at that point. Not even, yeah.
And there's been things like and that's what most businesses, like even working at Target, even like I had to do a fucking return for like a movie ticket, and it was like 2 minutes before the showing. And there's like shit that I was just like, anything that's just like, hey, I'm not trying to scam someone. I'm trying to just genuinely get my money back for this thing that I'm not pleased with and or unhappy with.
Yeah.
People will go out of their fucking way to be like, here you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
It's just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
The same thing, like, I mean, not that IHOP, but anything after that related to IHOP, I still got.
Yeah.
They're just like, let's make it better for you.
Yeah, I think majority of anything customer service they try to fix.
Right.
I thought when the manager came out, that was it. But it was like, no. It's even worse now.
It's even worse. This is a worse problem.
No, man.
Great.
It's like everything in our system is not the go carrying on them either.
Yeah.
But.
Like, same thing you said, like the Hard Rock. Like anytime I think of the Hard Rock now,
I
remember that night, and I'm like, oh yeah, that First time I played roulette was that day. I was like, oh, that's fucking good.
Man went all red and won.
I
I hated it.
Anytime I'll see shit now, like I'll get. It's funny because it like knows now. I'll get random stuff. It's just like how to do this, how to do this. Look at this.
Roulette strategy.
Yeah,
yeah.
like look
No,
at this shit. It's
red.
Like, yeah,
you don't
red,
understand.
Red. It's just like at any point they'll like go over the odds. It's just like, yeah, if you pick red or black, you have 50-50 chance. And I'm just like,
red.
Yeah,
You're red.
Yeah,
you had 100% chance.
Yeah, red, you have 100%. It was just weird how that worked out.
Yeah, it was red, black. Red. I was like, we're all standing over him. He's silent. He wouldn't talk to any of us. We're like, Joey, put 300 on green. No. He wouldn't say anything. He would just, red. I'm like, this man, I'm leaving. Then I go to the other roulette table to try to do the same thing. I lose all my money. So that's roulette for you, gambling. But you got to enjoy your birthdays, you know?
Yeah, for real. That's why, like,
as long as you go into those places knowing how much money you're going to lose and just accepting that you're going to lose it, then you're fine.
Yeah,
just
100%.
don't go in there with a bunch of money that you can't lose. You got to lose money only you can lose.
And that's the same thing like I tell people, like especially when they're starting out with like investing or anything. Don't be like, oh, here's my life savings.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw it into something. Especially when you just start out with something. It's just like, understand that, yes, there's a mitigated risk to something like that.
Yeah.
Or even like, you know, oh, say you're really good at blackjack. You still have an understanding that this can go real south. Real
People
quick.
who understand blackjack know that they can lose their money on instant.
It can go
Even
real
if you
bad.
can count cards and you know all the probabilities, all the hands. Because blackjack's like the most profitable card game, which doesn't say much about profitable card games because they're not. But you have like if you know your stuff, it's like 54% chance of winning.
Yeah.
But that's 54%. That's still 46 that you're not going to win.
Right.
So.
You just like you may, and even like games where like I remember looking in the odds and stuff like the roulettes. It's just like, oh, there's no way mathematically that I found at least that's like I can get the odds over myself 50%.
Oh yeah, no.
It's just like I can get close,
mm-hmm.
but you can never. So it's just like, okay, so if I say one to play this 100 times,
right,
51% of the time I'm losing money.
Yeah.
50%. So I'm like, at worst, I may break even. I'm like, oh, so it's like, okay, like it's a game.
Yeah, you're having fun.
Yeah, you don't go into it like there was a dude I seen a thing. He was like this professional gambler. He turned $20 into like 10 grand, and then 10 grand into $1 million, and $1 million to like 10 million. Mm-hmm. And then he went and sat down playing poker, and in the course of 3 nights, lost $10 million.
That's gotta hurt.
He started out from like literally nothing. He was like in Greece. I forgot the fuck the guy's name is. He was like abused by his family in Greece. He came over in like the fucking 50s on a boat. Like worked as a fucking dockhand, and then learned how to play poker and became this amazing poker player. And then in 3 nights, lost it all.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, after like 6 years of being on a winning streak, lost it all. In 3 nights.
That's it, yeah, that's all it takes.
That's all it takes. It's just like
wow.
$10 million.
That's the game, man. It's like the guy who bet his entire everything on a single roulette wheel, and he won.
Yeah, he won. I was just like, that could
have now he's a millionaire, though. Yeah. Now he's got businesses, and so...
Which is good.
Good risk, I guess. Don't do it, please. God, don't do it.
Don't do that, yeah.
All right.
That's especially like the lottery, like anybody who's like... That's another thing, like anytime... And I don't play the lottery. I'll use... My thing now is like, if it gets over $1 billion, alright, I'll pay.
Gotta, yeah.
I'll pay $5 for a dream.
Just the risk. I mean, the risk reward, $5, you get $1 billion. Like,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
More than likely, I'm losing my $5, but there's that small sliver of hope, and I'll walk around that day being like, it'll make $5 to make me happy for a day. Okay, I'll take it, you know. And then, but then there's like dudes who's just like, oh, all these people go broke, all this one, and then it's like, because some people don't understand, it's just like, oh, if you're not careful with the money, it doesn't go anywhere.
You're more likely to get struck by lightning 5 times in a row apparently than you are to win the lottery or something like that. Ridiculous statistic.
And there's some people that's like, I think they did a thing, they did a poll, like 20% of America considers that their retirement fund. They're like, oh, I play like every day, I'm going to eventually win, and that's going to be my retirement.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's like, I mean, you could hope, obviously, but that's not...
I mean, even if you... Yeah, that's not... It's most likely not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's why there's so much money in it. It's not going to happen.
Like, you think they're just handing out billions of dollars?
No, it's not happening.
This is like,
happens once every, like, 7 years.
Yeah.
Literally.
The past 2 years has been... Which has been insane.
Nothing, yeah.
I don't think that happens at all.
No.
So, fuck, okay.
Guess more people are playing.
Yeah. I think it's also because there's just, like, unusual circumstances between COVID and this and that. I think everybody's just been like...
Going for it, yeah. Stimulus was a big deal.
Yeah.
People were just throwing their stimulus money away.
Oh, my God. And which is, it's partly good, but partly not.
It was great for the economy.
Yeah.
But it was not good for people.
Like when I got my stimulus, immediately I was just like investing my money.
Yeah.
This is where
it's free money.
Yeah,
I didn't get one, but it's free money.
It's gonna make me money. It's gonna go back into the economy. They wanted to boost up businesses and shit. That's where I put it. That, and then I bought a couple things.
Yeah.
Usually from like a small business or something.
Yeah.
And
if you got $1,200, you spent $200 on yourself and put $1,000 away. That's good.
That's great.
That's awesome.
And a lot of people went out and like it's both good and bad because like it boosted the economy because they went out and bought shit at a store. But it's also like, oh, I have $1,200 now.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to use this to pay my rent. I'm going to use this to buy a new TV.
Yep.
It's just like that's not.
That's not what it was for.
That's not.
I would say.
Yeah.
And I know
have the money to do it great. But
I personally know a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
I was talking to this one girl. Never gonna name her name, but
Yeah.
she had a credit card, or she was on her 5th credit card. I'm like, why do you have so many credit cards? You know, it's fine if you know what you're doing to have 5 credit cards. Yeah. But I was like, why do you have 5 credit cards? She's like, oh, all the other ones are maxed, and I just pay my minimum, and I just needed another one. And I was like, it hurt my soul.
Oh my
because
God.
her credit score wasn't necessarily bad. It was in the 600s or something.
Yeah.
And
that's like the mid-tier. That's average, I think.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense because probably the only mark she has was credit utilization.
Yeah.
Because the main markers, you know. If she made all those minimum payments, she's
revolving
fine.
credit balance.
But they are just making money off her because they're just charging interest on everything.
Yeah.
100%. Their interest rates are crazy. She's probably paying annual fees on a couple of cards.
Probably.
I'm assuming, at least.
Out of the fuck. I mean, it was a $100 annual fee, probably like 3 cards, 18 to 20. Like I remember when I got mine, and starting.
Interest is crazy.
It's like 22% a year.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh my God.
And I'm not against credit. I like credit. There's different avenues. There's certain people who just are against credit or like say don't use it at all, which is, I respect that path too. I personally use credit. Easier.
Right.
And if you know what you're doing, you have to have a lot of self-control to have credit. And that's a big thing that Americans don't have. A lot of people don't have self-control. So buying things cash is smart. I think I've laid this out for you before though, with like car payments.
Yeah.
You're against car payments,
Yeah.
right? You say no car payments whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm on the opposite end of
Yeah,
that.
you like car payments, yeah.
So, because they're some of the lowest interest rates. If you have good credit and you can get a 2% car loan, it's almost nothing. That's similar to a house,
right.
you know? And people say home loans are the best because they're so low interest. Plus you're gaining. The thing with cars is you lose. But let's say you have $30K in the bank. Is it better to go and buy a car cash, which your avenue you would say go buy a beater car,
yeah,
like a $2,200
Yeah.
car, which I would say. But most people aren't going to do that. They're going to go buy a new car. They have $30,000. So what I would say, put 20% down, whatever that is, $5,000, right? You get a $280 car payment. Put the rest of that money and invest it. If that's just sitting there and that was that car money, put that money away because that's going to grow on average 7%. Right? So that money's growing and growing and growing and growing. So in 5 years when that car's paid off, how much did you gain versus how much would you have lost, you know, paying off with the interest? Yeah. You're going to gain more here than you are going to lose with the interest. If you can get low interest. Some people will get a 9% interest on their car and I'm like, you are a psychopath.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
There's something wrong with you. Because 10%, 9% on $30,000 is insane. I mean, that's almost $3,000. You're crazy.
Well, some people they'll pay double what they need to because of like fucking fees and shit.
Yep.
And they'll be like, and I think there's definitely something to that method of it. My one thing that I have, like with it is, and I that's saying like I had a credit card and that was like part of the book. I want to say it's like chapter 8 or something like that, where I talk about credit is bad.
Yeah.
There's like, was originally, I think I still have the draft because it was kind of funny, I thought, was originally how to use credit.
Yeah.
Because I had my credit cards.
Yeah,
I had, and I think I might have posted a picture of it. I had an 800 credit score.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was up there with it. But then I realized slowly but surely, like, oh, wait, I don't have money. What am I doing now?
Yeah.
I'm using my credit card. And be like, oh, well, I spent $80, let's just say.
Yeah.
I have $400 I know come in next week. Let me do that.
Yeah.
But then slowly but surely, I was just kind of like, well, wait, now I owe somebody something. Like for me at least, and I know sometimes the math works out for it, but there's like the freedom aspect of it with me.
Yeah.
It's like with the big thing, like with, okay, if I have a loan to pay on the car payment and then credit card payments, I know that's going to, like I know people who still work at Target, they're just like, I absolutely fucking hate it here, but I can't go get a job that pays me $2 less an hour, because then I know for a fact I can't afford my car payment.
Whew.
I know for a fact I can't
Which you
afford
shouldn't
my
be
car
in
payment.
that position.
Yeah. Like, I mean, and then a lot of times, like, I remember talking to them about it, but then you can't push someone to do something. I was like, hey, you're getting a car. Here's, and this was before everything became super expensive.
Yep.
You know, like the Gigi now, you know, $2,000 car is now like $8,000 because of the computer chips.
Yep, everything's crazy.
Before it was just like, oh, it's like still $2,000 car. I was like, you should get something along these lines, maybe like 5 to 6 years old, something reasonable. You know, it's nice, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, it's nicer than, you know, arguably than what Gigi is. It's comfortable. It's got a touchscreen and shit. It's got cool features.
Yeah.
But then the same kind of thing is just like, nah, I'm gonna get a car that's 2 years old, and instead of $2,000, it's $18,000.
Yeah.
It's just like, but why? You're
Yeah.
20-something years old.
If you're not in the position to do it, don't do it.
Yeah, it's just like, why would you? And it's like, oh, I put $6,000 down. It's just,
But why?
Why?
Yeah.
Could have paid $6,000 for the car. Like, I get, you know, maybe it had a good warranty, whatever it is. I get that. I'm a big fan of warranties and stuff, but it's like, why? And like, that's the one thing with credit for me. Like, if you want to build a billion-dollar business, you're gonna need business.
You have to have credit. 100%.
And I think business and financial are different. Like, I would consider maybe I'd have to look at it to use credit for business, because God forbid something happens, the business is not at fault. That's it. You could close down a corporation, and a lot of the time you're not gonna get, like, they're not gonna come to your house.
That's why LLCs are so beautiful, because I feel like almost everybody should have an LLC of some sort.
There's some tax write-off for it. Something.
You can write almost everything off. Well, certain stuff you can't. Don't go too far.
If it's legitimate, then yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you technically speaking, like, you go out to brunch with somebody and you talk for 10 minutes about your business. That's a business brunch.
Yeah,
right
good.
there.
Yeah.
So.
Or like you drive around now. If you had I don't know what the requirements is, but if you got a car and your primary car is
to go to business to business.
Yeah, from your business to your home.
Yeah, you could put it under the LLC.
Yeah.
It has to be above it. That's for the reason why F-150s are one of the most sold
Like
trucks in the world, because it has to be 60,000 plus or 65,000 up, and that's like the F-150's price is like
it's
perfect.
Right there.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because you can't just buy a car, which sucks. I think that should be.
It should just be if I use.
The government. The government's so weird. The government just has these weird stipulations, and everyone just exploits them anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Like anytime, like I remember, if I want to have something for photography, a big thing, like when I started, that's why I travel a lot, was like I have these really cool places I want to go take pictures of.
Yeah.
I put them on stock websites. I put them on, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. I'll say, okay, I have this photo I really like, but I'm not going to post it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just deleting it or sitting on my computer, they put it up on the stock photo website, and then someone
Why not?
pays me. I get paid 10 cents from the thing when they use it.
Yeah.
And if I have 1,000 photos, maybe I'll make a couple dollars.
Yeah.
But that, if it's under an LLC.
But you just traveled.
I just traveled. Now,
now it's a business write-off. Your business doesn't have to be successful for it to be a tax write-off.
Yeah. And it is for legitimate business purpose.
Yeah.
The reason why I went there was to go and take pictures, and those pictures are then used as my business to make money.
Even if you don't make money off them, that's still a tax write-off. You still invested that money to go on the trip to take the pictures.
Research and like development, like I mean, you have a business and I have an LLC under it.
Yeah.
If you buy any form of business book, it's like I'm going to improve myself and or my business through it.
It's a write-off.
It's a write-off because it's research and development. If you wanted to try out a new shake product and you said, let me buy all the materials to do it, and you put it together and it still sucked.
Yep. Still a write-off. And you return it.
And you return it. Yeah. You got to get your money back or it's a write-off.
Yeah.
You get research and development tax,
Pretty much, yeah.
So then there's like, that's why I think we knew a guy who worked at Target. He started a photography business for that reason. He's like, well, I do photography stuff. He's like, but now if I make a business out of it, even if I don't make money, it's still, a write-off.
Yeah.
I'm still using it for a legitimate business purpose.
Yeah, funny enough, one of my customers, my regulars, comes in and her boyfriend's a photographer, and she was like, we're going on a trip to Italy, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, what are you going for? She's like, oh, it's for business. I'm like, oh, that's nice. The whole thing's a write-off.
Yeah.
The entire thing.
Like, the whole thing.
Yeah, his tickets are, because he's a really successful photographer, so his tickets are even paid for. Like, they're getting paid to go to Italy. And I'm sure anything they do there is a write-off.
Yeah.
So,
which I
nice.
think that's fucking great.
Yeah. Well, find a job like that, man.
Yeah.
Take you to Italy for free, I'll take that any day.
Yeah, freelance stuff. I mean, that's like with Uber. Uber, you drive around. I mean, especially the amount I drive around.
Yeah.
The gas I use for that is
Write off. Yep. Any maintenance is a write-off.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff. I don't know if insurance or whatnot includes. I'm sure there's some stipulations to it. I gotta look a little more into it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the year, I send my accountant. I send all my shit. Here's the stuff I legitimately use for Uber Eating. I bought a new tripod thing for my phone. My fucking cord broke, so I have to
buy
get a new charger.
cord,
I get all that shit, and I used it 99.9% of the time for business-related purposes.
Yeah.
Or if not 100%. then it's okay. Yeah, it's a write-off.
Write-off, yeah. As long as it's legit, you can write it off, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm using it for, if I went out, I had this camera, but if I went and bought it for a podcast.
Yeah, it's a write-off.
Even if, 2 people watch tonight and make a dime off of this.
Yep.
It's
a write-off.
For a business purpose.
We're good.
I still use it for a business purpose.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's why, I think everybody should have it. I agree.
Some kind of LLC. You could figure it out. I promise you. They're not that hard to file. They cost like $125 to file. Most states, depends on your state.
But it's like $80 a year then after that. Just
yeah, it's not bad at all.
And that's something I didn't realize I had the video game business. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have closed it. I would have kept it.
Yeah, just for that, literally.
Even if it was just like research and development stuff or something for it.
Yep.
I would have found a way to
buy a computer.
Yeah, buy a computer for whatever I had to do.
Even if you do 30 minutes of research on it, counts.
Even if you do something, as long as there's primarily a business purpose, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, for that, I'd even argue maybe video games could probably be a research and development thing.
Yeah.
If you're
playing video games, then for sure.
I
don't see why not.
Yeah, I mean, game developers are like, oh, I'm playing. Say you want to build an MMO. Okay, why?
I gotta play these MMOs and see what they do
World of
well.
Warcraft.
Yep.
I have, they're generally doing it. I have 9 pages of notes on what fucking works. Let me use it.
Yeah.
What made you want to start? Because you're small. I don't think we talked about what kind of business you're in.
No, I did not.
Yes. Okay.
So literally the same thing that I walked into 6 years ago is what I'm doing now.
Yes.
So I'm running one of the supplement. It's like a supplement. It's not a supplement store because you don't buy supplements there. It's like a healthy version of a Starbucks. It's a cafe, but it's all, full meal replacement shakes with protein.
Right.
Protein is included in full meal replacement, but I always say protein because people love protein.
Yeah, people love it.
Yeah. And then we have, and it's a different version of energy drink. We use an herbal tea instead of like the normal energy shot thing.
Yeah. And
all that stuff. And it's just it's a good time, good energy, good people, surrounded by the right things for sure.
Right.
And it's fun. It's very, it's family owned, so it's fun. I get to see the same people almost every day. It's got a good heart. There's not a lot of bad customers or anything like that. I just work a lot. That's the biggest thing with a small business. For the first, I don't know, that's different for every business, but I've already opened, with next month will be a year.
Yeah.
I've had this one. So I've had the first one I've had almost 2 years. The second one happened quick. It's almost been a year since I've had the second one. And I'm there. I mean, the first day I had off was Christmas. We opened November 1st. First day I had off was Christmas because we were closed.
Yeah.
I worked Christmas Eve. Not for a long time, but I worked Christmas Eve. And then the next time I had off after that was for my surgery, which was, 3 months ago?
Yeah.
So I've only had a few days off here and there.
Wow.
I'll get time off here and there. Like, I'll be able to take hours off from the day, but I don't take a lot of days off. It doesn't happen. I'm there at some point in the day, and if I'm not there, I guarantee you, he was with me on my birthday. I had my birthday off. That was the last time I had off. I take that back. I had the day after my birthday off. I worked on my birthday.
Yeah.
My actual birthday. Even the Friday, I worked half the day. Saturday was the only day I really had off. I worked Sunday again, so.
And then you were still,
And the Saturday,
still on call.
They called me, I think, 5 times within 2 hours just for stuff.
Yeah. Whatever came
They tripped the breaker.
Yeah.
I mean, we did triple sales that I normally do on a Saturday, so it was a freak accident when I wasn't there. Of course,
I'm not there, it's gonna happen.
It's how it goes. But yeah, it's hard to take time off. Like make sure if you do a physical small business that you're ready to work.
Yeah, that's really what anything like related to even like this.
Yeah.
It's just like I have time to do stuff, but if you want to do anything consistently. Like you do this, you're making T-shirts or whatever.
Whatever you do, yeah.
If it takes, you're putting in more hours than you are. Like I was only working like 40 hours max at Target.
Yeah.
This is just like, oh no, I'm working from time I wake up to the time I go to bed. Even if it's like Uber or something, because all that money is still then going right back into it. It's just whatever needs to get done.
Yeah, and there'll be months where I make what someone working at Target would make.
Yeah.
It happens a lot of months. I'll make. But I'm working double hours on top of that. I don't pay myself hourly. It's not how that works. It's how it works, but it's not how it works at the same time. Like, I'm not looking at myself and going, oh, I get $6 an hour. I'm not worth $6 an hour. I'm worth way more than $6 an hour.
Right.
But that's what I have to do. I'm paying myself alone. It sucks sometimes, but I'm building something. It's not like I'm stuck there, which is nice. But people think when you own a small business, you're making money on money. It's not true. It's not the truth. It's far from the truth. No, definitely not in the beginning. And, I mean, the ultimate goal in any small business is, for my type of business, is to be able to step back and be like, this thing is running itself.
Yeah.
Once I'm there, I'll be like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But this place is literally running itself. That is amazing. Like if I don't have to step in the door, that's crazy to me.
Right.
I can't even think of a time that I felt comfortable not having to step in or look or whatever. If I get a check every month from a small business, that's amazing. Yeah. But I love what I do, so I don't mind being there every day. Yeah. But if you do something 10 hours a day for a year straight, I promise you're going to get gassed. Yeah. Like, you got to, it's hard. It's a hard balance because...
Especially if you don't love what you do.
Yeah. If you don't like what you do, you're not going to be able to do it 10 hours a day. I promise you that.
The normal person at that point will quit.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just going to be like, fuck it, why am I doing this?
Yeah. And even though I love what I do, I've had times where I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, it sucks. This. But then I remember I'm 22. I should be grateful. It's all mindset. Yeah. And you're going to have those faults. Like, everyone's like, oh, the mindset. Yeah, the mindset's important, but you're going to realize that you're going to have down moments. It's not going to be fruits and cakes all the way through. Like, you're going to have tough times no matter what business you're in. Even if you're working a normal job, you're going to have times where you're like, dude, I mean, that's every day for most people that are working a job. They're like, I'm out of here, man. To find the first opportunity to leave, they're going to do it. So,
yeah, for real.
Yeah. And
that's like even at the restaurant. Like Dad, he enjoyed it, but I mean, it wasn't a dream to open an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
So it was just like, and especially then because he was also at like a different point in his life where he's like, I have a family I want to spend time with.
Right.
So that was eventually the goal, was to be like, okay, I'm going to work for 6-7 years, let's just say, busting my ass, do whatever I got to do there, and then eventually it'll be self-sustainable to run it. Or like I come in, I'm there half the time I am.
Yep.
Now. You know, say I open. And
yeah,
then
you find
come back for 2 hours to close.
For a restaurant that size, you find 6 or 7 good people.
Yeah.
Which is hard to find, I'll tell you that much.
Now at least.
Yeah, it's horrible right now. I can't find a single person to work mornings. But yeah, it's like once you find those people, then you're able to take more time off. But you're almost not allowed to leave because no one's as good as an employee to yourself that you'll be. You're the best employee you will ever have. Yeah. There's no one who's ever going to care because they shouldn't. Yeah. You're the one who's going to care the most. No matter how much you pay someone, they're not going to care. Yeah. Unless you give them half your business, they're not. Even then, they probably wouldn't care because they didn't work for it. They didn't build it.
That would be tough.
I built stuff in my place. Like I've helped we put flooring in. Like we did that stuff. Like it's there. We made it. So you put your heart, you put pieces of yourself into it. So it's different than working a job, for sure. You're not going to care that much.
Yeah, for real. It's just like even like when and that's something I noticed, and I think I'm curious to hear your opinion on it too. It's just like I knew, my whole thing was I never wanted to earn a paycheck from like a business. Like from, with the restaurant, I didn't directly own it, but it's family owned. Yeah. And then now I own everything. Yeah. So when I worked at Target, the first 2 or 3 months, I think I really enjoyed. Because it was the beginning, I felt
it was
like
fresh. It was new.
It was fresh. I felt really like I was contributing there. Everybody was really happy because I came in and I just took over everything. Yeah. But then immediately after the entrepreneurial feeling wore off, like the same day, it was like, okay.
It's almost like you're being taken advantage of.
Yeah. Well, there between that, but then it's also like I knew I wasn't cut out to work for somebody else. Yeah. Like it wasn't that I couldn't.
It itches. It scratches at your brain. It was the same thing for me when I worked at Smugglers for like a year. Right. Like the first 2 months, I was like, this is fun. This is cool. Whatever. I'm talking to people. It's not hard. Easy job. I'm doing a bunch of stuff on the background. I'm like, dude, why? I got to talk to the owner. I was like, why aren't you doing gator handling? Like, why aren't you doing this and this? Throwing ideas with him. And then I was like, 2 months in, I'm like, this sucks. Yeah. Like, can you come work an extra 6 hours? No, I don't want to work an extra 6 hours. Yeah. What do you think I am? Yeah, no, really? Like what? And stuff like that. It's just like, ugh.
And that's like I think it was not a challenge, but it was a new experience at first for me. And I was like, oh, this is brand new.
You're learning, so you don't realize.
Way more money than I was just working at the restaurant. Yeah. And then it's just, oh, this is something crazy and exciting and new during a wild time. But then immediately after the novelty wore off, I was like, but this isn't for me. Like it almost like it
clicks, right?
Yeah. You can't if by doing that it felt like somebody took away oxygen from me. Yeah. That's the kind of way they would explain it. It was just like
you get there and you're like itching to leave as soon as you get there. Yeah.
Like there were days I didn't go in because I felt claustrophobic from it. Yeah. I was just like, I'm going in, I'm wasting my time. I'd walk around, and like when I get there in the morning, like I would try and have the best mindset for it. Yeah. But I knew in my heart of hearts I didn't enjoy it. Yeah. I'd walk around. I would just kind of stand there. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
What am I doing? Yeah.
This is bullshit. I was like, there's a million other things in my mind. I'm like, when I get home, I want to do this. Okay, I have a second to be on my phone. Like at the restaurant, that's what I like to do. Is like if we had 0 customers.
You could be on your phone.
Yeah, Dad didn't care. And I'd be like running my Instagram. I'd be doing this. I'd be watching like a YouTube video with the sound off. Then I'd wait for somebody to come in. I'd be like, okay, I learned this thing now. There, I have to stand there and be focused on something I don't care about.
Yep.
And it was just like,
They find something for you to do.
There was no challenge, no nothing. And then any time I put into it, and that's what I really liked the first 3 months, I felt like I owned it. Like anytime I did something, they're like, Joe, you did really great. You now you take point on this.
Yeah,
thing,
you're a lead here, you're a lead here, you're doing this here.
Until I reached that plateau, and it's like, you cannot go anywhere unless
you get promoted to a certain position, which isn't going to happen.
2 months. You've done more than some team leads have done in 2 months.
Yeah.
But yet, it's still you and me in 2 months. And I'm just kind of like, oh, wait, this isn't my business.
Yeah.
I can't. And then and like I said, the auction almost sucked out of the room. I was like, this isn't what I'm meant to be doing.
Yeah.
I knew in my heart, I was like, I can't.
But you were there
I can't do this.
But you were there for how long total?
Year and 4 months.
Yeah.
Because then at that point we started in March, the restaurant closed. I started in March, and that was height of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So that was like right when we got into it. And then I want to say around September-ish, May, September, that's when I took a little hiatus from all this. And I felt guilty every day I didn't do it. Because there was just a lot going on personally. There was like a lot with everything. And I was just kind of like, oh, fuck. Okay, like there's other things I had to take care of, you know what I'm saying? Like just like family stuff, this, that, and then, but it was still like, oh, I hate being here. And that's another thing that pushed me too, was just like, if God forbid, say something happened, like, oh, hey, I got a call. Hey, Joe, someone fell in on a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
I couldn't be like, oh, fuck.
I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. You're stuck at work.
Yeah, I'm stuck at work.
Right.
Or, or somebody's just like, hey, I can remember getting like a fucking bunch of phone calls. It was just like, hey, I want to ask you a question. And I'm like, I have my phone off. I used to turn my phone off.
Yeah.
And then since like, I kind of like came to this realization I never did. It's like, oh, I had a question to ask you. And I was like, oh, I didn't even hear the phone call. I was like, God forbid that's like mom calling from an emergency.
Something happens, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I'm so focused on this. I was like, I feel I'm so focused on this that I'm willing to turn my phone off.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing. I was just like even at your business, like I'm sure you can't stop what you're doing.
But if
you could be like, hey mom, what's up? Why are you calling me all of a sudden?
Right.
Oh shit. Okay, I gotta go.
Right.
You know.
If I need to leave, I can leave.
Yeah. Right. I'm not in fear of my job. Like, okay, something happened.
Even if it's not like, your mom had a heart attack, she's in the hospital. Yeah. Even if it's like your mom got an fender bender and she needs you to come out here, I can put a sign on my door that says I'll be back in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
My customers might be a little mad, but I can leave. It's not like I can't get fired for leaving.
I was just saying, they're not going to take your job away.
Right.
You're not going to lose your income for taking care of your family.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing.
It's a big thing for me. That freedom. Because freedom isn't like freedom to go do whatever you want. It's freedom to be able to be there for people. It's freedom to be able to do important things in life. It's freedom to not just to have fun, It's important to have fun, and it's important to have that freedom to have fun, and being financially free is a big deal. But being your own boss frees you up to be there for people more than having a job.
Exactly.
100%.
And that's something like I kind of realized it as I got older. Like even middle school, I was like, my goal in life. They're like, well, with this, that. I was like, I need to be rich.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, why? And everybody kind of thought.
You wanted to be, right. You want the woman, the fast cars.
And then I kind of.
No, you want to buy your mom a house. So that's what you want.
It's like it kind of made sense to me. And I'm just like, and then I remember in high school, I remember one of the beach houses.
Yeah.
I remember saying, and everybody's probably too drunk to remember. I was like, but I remember saying.
Wait, was I there?
I think you were at this one. You might have been at this one. I remember
which one. Which one was it?
This is the one with the
water
dock
slide.
Out on it. It was the one where there's the dock and you go out and there's like across from where you're at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
the water. That's not the water park one.
Yeah.
The
one. I don't know if it was the one before you were there, but you might have been at that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember saying, I remember who it was. I remember you weren't at that moment, but I think you were at that one.
Yeah.
I remember saying, and they're just like, oh yeah, Joe, we know you gotta be rich. I was like, but no, now like it makes sense now. I was like, you're gonna get older.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have kids. And they're like, yeah. I was like, maybe or maybe not. I want that. I said, I don't know. But I know that I can be like, I want you to be able to call me and say, hey Joe, the kids haven't seen their Uncle Joey in a while. We're in California in Disneyland. Do you want to come visit us?
Yes.
And I'm like, 100% let me go there and see them. That's what I want, that freedom to be like, okay, hey, you know what? I haven't seen this thing.
Yep.
There's this one-in-a-lifetime opportunity happening in Mexico right now.
Yeah.
There's this thing that happened. There's this person there. There's this crazy thing going on. I want to be able to be like, I'm never going to experience this again in my life. Let me drop whatever the fuck I'm doing and go.
Yep.
And be able to do
even now on the small scale of like kind of financial freedom that I have, like there's things like people's birthdays. Like I'm relatively frugal. Like we're both kind of that way. Right. Like when something's But I'm I'm less strict than you are. But when it comes to like events or Christmas, giving is a huge thing for me.
Yes, sir.
Regardless if it's monetary or not, it's something. Like that person needs to feel special, and if the more money you bring in, the more money you can give.
Yeah.
And giving feels so good to me. Like if I can give somebody with it, I got my buddy an Apple Watch for his birthday, off the friggin', and he was like, "What?" Like, and seeing that, I have a screenshot of it on my phone. It's favorited, and it's just the FaceTime picture of him opening. Because I had COVID at the time when he got it, so I couldn't see him. And I FaceTime him. I took a screenshot. He's just like smiling with holding the Apple Watch, and I'm like, that's just like a great. I'll never forget that. Like just being happy like that.
Right.
And there's people in different financial situations, but that goes back to friendships too. Like, if you can't afford to get somebody something, make them something.
Yeah.
Show them something. Take them somewhere. Whatever it is, give them a 10-minute phone call.
Yeah.
But
Something.
if you don't make your friends feel some way of special, like you got me a bunch of cool stuff. Like,
little box.
right. It was cool. Like I was like, this is awesome. Like, you know, it makes me happy. Like, I don't like getting gifts as much as I like giving them, but like getting cool stuff is awesome. Like, you got me the Polaroid. I have the Polaroid. It's in my car. Like that's something I'll hold on to for a very long time until it freaking burns and I can't see it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Colin got me a funny card in a Avengers lunchbox, and I was like, this is hilarious.
I love this.
You didn't need to spend $300. I love this. Thank you for getting me something. It doesn't matter. But But when you have money and you get money from all these sources, you can give so much. It feels great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I remember that, like back in, like even with the beach house, I love just going all out and doing stuff
Yeah.
like that. And getting
Because Christmas that one year you went crazy. Yeah.
I was fucking wild with it. And even like I remember in school when I come in with the Santa pack.
Yeah.
And I remember like I'd hand people stuff and they're just like there's people in tears. They're so happy. Like,
Right.
This is the best gift I think anybody's ever given me.
Yeah. Because you remember these small little nuggets about people, and then you get them a gift. Like, you remember that?
You remember that?
What?
Like
Yeah.
there was like one kid we knew and he was from fucking like Thailand. Like his family's from Thailand. And I'm like, this is like handmade thing.
From Thailand.
From Thailand. Some like old grandma sat there meticulously and made
Right.
this. And I found out where to go. And I remember you said you like foxes the most.
Yeah.
So she made a fox.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my god.
This is awesome.
Like, yeah, this is like-
and you can really tell. Like, you can.
Like you put in effort. Even if it costs $5 to do
Right.
it, you still put in that effort. And people are just sitting there like,
It's
holy
mind
shit.
blown. Yeah.
Yeah. And like even like an opportunity. I remember we had one person who's just like, I want to do stuff with computers, but I know I don't have money to go out and do that.
Yeah.
I found like a $20 kit online that's like, okay, you hook it up to a computer and you can learn to code little stuff. And then eventually you could branch out and connect it to a motor. It's like Arduino.
Yeah.
You connect it to motors and you can do stuff, but this is a base little starter kit.
Something.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I remember you said you didn't have the opportunity. This is
Here's
this
a small opportunity. Yeah.
And
Right.
it's like, now I know, like graduating from high school, if you wanted to really go into computers,
Yeah.
you now have a little edge over somebody else.
Yep.
You now have an opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
You could sit there and go, oh, hey, I could go down to Radio Shack back when they had Radio Shacks.
Yeah.
And get a motor for 6 cents.
Wild. Yeah.
You get a little motor for 6 cents so I can connect it, and then when I press the button, it goes, zzz, now.
Yep.
Holy shit, look, I fucking did
I did something.
When I press this button on the computer, it does it to the sound of Africa.
Yep.
I did it.
The small wins.
Right?
Yeah.
And
But
that's like the same thing. It's just like that's the one thing I think I don't really skip out on.
yeah.
Is gifts.
Yeah. Be frugal on yourself, but don't be frugal on other
Yeah,
people.
like I don't think
There's a difference.
Anytime I have money coming in, I'll be like, unless I know we're going somewhere. Like let's say, okay, next week I know we're gonna go to fucking the Bahamas. Let's just say.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta have money for that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
of course.
be like, yeah. I'm not gonna be like, no.
That's different,
not
though.
that.
Yeah, that's different.
But then it's just like, other than that, I'll be like, okay, I have $15 or $20 for the week for any random expense that may come up. Like if somebody's like, hey, let's go get dinner, I'll be like, I can now.
Cool,
go get
I can
dinner
do that,
and
yeah.
buy it.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I'm just like, everything else goes into something else that's going to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually it's just like, I'm either going to use that to go take a trip or enjoy myself with something I really love,
Yeah.
or it's going to go back to somebody else who I really care about.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, even if it's like, oh, I made him a t-shirt.
Yeah.
The t-shirt says, fucking like a saying. You know?
Something.
Yeah,
It's
something.
hard.
You know.
It goes person to person. It
Right.
varies, obviously.
It's like we've seen the Avengers movie 9 times. So it's I love you 3,000.
Yeah, not times 9.
Yeah, 9 times.
You're right.
There's like a little heart with the name in it. It's
Yeah,
cute,
yeah.
a little smiley face. Oh
Yeah.
no shit, that could have cost $10 to make, but I know
It's gonna
do that.
bring them joy. So
That's gonna be
yeah.
someone be one of those things like I have on the shelf. I have photos of shit.
Yeah.
There's like one birthday gift I got. It's in a frame. It's a photo of a whole bunch of people from high school.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, you know, like the whole process might have cost $10.
Yeah.
But it's something I cherish. It's just like,
Yeah, I think I got one of my
shit.
friends. You ever see those little like camera roll thing keychains?
Yeah,
I
you
got one
pull
of my
it
friends though. The
Yeah.
friggin' a lot like it's static. It was like $15, but it's cool because it's memories, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
That's like the important thing. It's just like
Yeah.
That's like, and then that's another thing I think I learned with like the financial stuff. It's like you said with the freedom.
Yeah.
It's just like what really matters for it. Like even like when I had money when I first started working in the restaurant, I was thinking PlayStations. I was thinking, you know, okay, you know, nice car, you know, watches.
Yeah.
Now it's just kind of like, okay, I value, like money isn't the goal, the money is the tool.
Yep.
Like you replace dollar bills with hammers, I
Yeah.
view it the same way.
Yeah.
It's the goal to build them what is the freedom.
Yeah.
I think to myself, anytime I go somewhere, anytime I do something now, especially that I left Target, and I even said it to myself at Target, and I was like, no. It's like a little thing I came up with, kind of like the Steve Jobs thing that I have in my head.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like at any moment in time, I could be anywhere in the world doing anything with anyone.
Yep.
Do I want to be here right now doing this?
Yep.
And if the answer is no, why the fuck?
Why are you doing it? Yeah.
It's just like, why? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, it's just like, and then some days I'm like, oh, sure, I would love to be somewhere else in the world doing something.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a realistic aspect.
Yeah.
He's Steve Jobs. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Like,
And
he
it's
has
just like-
way more freedom than we do in terms of cash
Finance,
flow,
yeah.
right?
And it's just like, but I know that working on my business, you know, I'm sure I would enjoy
Being in the Bahamas would
being
be...
in the Bahamas.
But
having
you
the
really do
experience.
want to be
Yeah.
here.
But it's like, if I love what I'm doing, and I know eventually. This
If
is
you
gonna
do
be better
this
than
for a year, how many times can you go to the Bahamas, you know, in the future?
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
And then how many times is it going to be like, okay, now I have an opportunity to do things I couldn't do before.
Yep.
Like, you know, I love doing stuff for cheap and finding...
Now I can go on a 7-tour Europe, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? 7, whatever, country tour in Europe or something like that.
Or I could take people, like, say there's like an like when I went to Canada, everybody either didn't have a passport or didn't have money. Now it's just like, hey, listen, if I really
wanted to,
yeah.
you would be like, hey, you want to come? I
Yeah.
got you. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If I,
See, I would love to do that. I would love to have money to be like, hey, just hit up all 5 of my friends, guys, get 2 weeks off work. We're going.
Yeah.
Take your vacation time. We're all going.
Yeah. Do whatever you're going to do.
I don't have money.
3
I
months
don't care.
3 months from now.
Get on.
Yeah,
We're going.
that's it.
That's it.
And that's what I'm hoping for, like, maybe like a, you know, hopefully like for a big birthday or something too. Just
Like one of your birthdays.
Yeah.
Because that'd be cool. Like if I had money like that, I would have a birthday where I would pay for
Okay,
everybody's
everybody,
day.
let's go.
Yeah. Just because of the memories it would bring.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be awesome.
And it's just any opportunity, like that's like a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How many other people, you know, grabbed all their friends and then went to fucking Europe for a week?
And you could probably make a YouTube video out of that and make
Yeah,
a shit ton of money.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
it all comes around.
It all comes full circle.
I saw a TikTok. It was like when your rich friend hires you to do something stupid. It was like,
see
dude, you could test drive my cars for me. I need to know what cars. I'll pay you $15,000 a week. The first car is a Ferrari Z37, and the dude's like, he's like, take your time to think about it. He's like, no, I'll take the job.
Yeah, I'll take it. The one guy's like, hey, do you want to like hold on for a while? Like I don't have anything. He's like, yeah.
Yeah. Please.
And it was cool. I seen one. It was the same. I think the same dude. And then he had another one, which was kind of. It was like what we were saying with it. He got him. It was like his favorite color was like green or something. So he got him a green bracelet with his name engraved in it. And the background was like a picture or something of like what they did together. It was like the premise of the story.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh man. He's like, I know you don't have money. How much does this cost? He's like, don't worry about it. Like you're my friend.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he's like, and then the guy kind of like realized, like, oh shit. He's like, you know, friends take care of each other. He goes, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He goes, I mean,
Figure it out.
yeah, you know, it doesn't matter what it is, but I know you really would enjoy this, and you're my friend, so I got this for you.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, fuck, you know.
Yeah, because everyone. I mean, it goes to like the. Have you ever seen? You've obviously seen it, like the love languages.
Yeah.
Everyone has different ones.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big like gift giver.
Yeah.
But gift receiver, I don't care. You know.
Yeah.
But when someone does something for me, or like active service, like if someone was like, hey, like if I showed up one day and my shop was clean, and it was one of my friends all came together, I'd be like, what the hell? Like I'd be ecstatic. Like that's like big for me. But like, I would rather buy something.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, same.
Or help. I would help somebody too, but it's like generally speaking, I like to buy stuff for people, or you know, words. Words are a big one for me too.
Yeah.
I used to call my friends all the time, and be like, hey, how you doing? Love you. Bye. That's it. All right, see ya.
Like,
Yeah.
And that's like, and that's like one of those things. Like anytime, even like now for Christmas, mom and dad would be like, hey, what do you want? And like, especially then being an adult, it gets harder to. I'm like, oh, give me like these 2 books.
Yeah.
And they're just really, and I'm like, they're like,
Yeah.
books. I'm like, I don't
I don't know. I don't need anything.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need anything. Like one, like just me as a person, like I don't want physical things.
Yeah, I told that's
and
what
then two, it's like I don't want things. Yeah.
For my birthday, I was like, my mom was like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Nothing. I'm good." Like,
I don't care.
then she gave me $200 to gamble, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I would have never thought of that.
I'll
Like,
take that, yeah.
that's cool. Thank you." But of course, I'm grateful for that. I just like I told her, I don't. There's nothing I can think of that I need.
Yeah.
No. There's stuff I want, but I'm not gonna tell you that. Like, it's not important to me.
Yeah,
I will get it eventually if I really, really want it, and I'd rather sit on it anyway and think if I really want it or if I kind of want it. Yeah.
And even still, like with the books, like I'll go to thrift books.
Yeah.
I know mom and dad, they have no idea like
How
what
that
is
yeah.
or how that works. And dad's just like, oh, so like make an Amazon cart. I was like, well, no. I was like, you go to this website and you get it for like $2, and they have a little beat up in your used. But if you get it and you do this, and dad's just like,
Give me the Amazon.
just give me the Amazon. I'm like, well, you pay $15 to $3, and then I'm like, but you get this, and it's beat up, and that's like, just for your Christmas. Just give me the fucking Amazon.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm not worried about the $2 price difference.
Yeah.
Like, but you get the,
But
that's like, no.
yeah.
Stop.
The passion comes out real quick with that stuff. Yeah.
I'm like, this and it's cheaper.
Yeah, I won't buy anything that's not on sale anymore. I feel like
Yeah.
for myself, I'm like, if it's not on clearance or like, except for like, I'm a big gamer, so anything games, so I'll buy it for myself. But I find that if that's my niche and that's where I spend most of my free money on, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, and of course I'm budgeted. It's not like I'm just throwing my money away. I'm ready for it. Usually when stuff gets announced a year in advance. If you're not ready to buy it a year in advance, then you shouldn't be buying it.
Yeah. You're getting prepared.
Yeah.
That's like even a lot of things. Like I know, like me and Chris, like he wants to play. That's like the Batman game, the Arkham Knight's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, but that's a year from now.
Yeah.
Between now and then, okay, I'll have money saved.
Realistically, you can save it. Yeah.
Like when I remember when it first came out, and I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, do I want to get this? I was like, there's nothing I want. Like when it comes out,
Right.
and then I also know it's good. I think fuck it, I'll get it.
Right. In a couple of years here, all the PlayStation games are going to be out. And that's really when most people are probably going to want it.
Like the week it comes out, I may not pre-order it.
Yeah.
But the week it comes out, if they're just like, I won't. Like,
Hopefully, it'll be available by then.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, I'll be like, okay, cool. The game came out. I mean, if I really want to get something pre-ordered, then I will.
Yeah.
But like, I think it was like Watch Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I looked into it. I watched 2 review videos on it.
Yeah.
This sounds something like I'll really enjoy, even though these people didn't like it.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll go spend the money on it.
Right.
And then I went and spent the money. Or like they had a season pass where it was like you could get it for $40, but we don't know when the content's coming out.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's whack. Yeah. I'll just
buy
buy it when it comes out.
I was
Yeah.
like, when it came, then it came out, and I still haven't bought it. I was like, maybe I'll buy it.
That was like the Spider-Man DLCs for me.
Yeah.
The original. I was like, yeah, I bought the Spy. I really enjoyed the base game, but I'll just watch the DLCs.
Yeah, I don't care that much.
Yeah.
I bought it, and then sure enough, it was like I think I paid $20 for all 3.
Mm-hmm.
It was at $10 each.
Yeah.
And
Something
I
like
was
that.
like, yeah, I guess it's worth $20.
Yeah. No, it definitely had value. Just if that's on you, if you feel like it's valuable for you.
I needed it. Like I could have not played it, and I would have been.
Probably been fine.
That was like the one DLC I think I really liked was Batman.
Yeah.
Batman Arkham Knight. It was like you paid $20.
That whole game was value.
And you got like.
You get so much story.
You
Yeah.
get 100 different skins. You get an extra 4 hours of gameplay with villains and 9 different challenge missions. All for $20. I was like, if any game does that, I would 100%.
Oh, 100. Yeah.
Packs.
You gotta make it sellable. But people just buy stuff now, so the games don't have to try. It's ridiculous.
Like season passes and all that. I know people like Warzone because it's like you pay $10 once, and then if you just play the game, you get enough points that it gets you
The new one, yeah.
I was like, okay,
that makes sense. Right.
I'd like that if I could.
Yeah.
You know.
Makes you play the game.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you enjoy it. Otherwise.
It's smart. It's definitely the new way that games are doing it now. They're making their games free, putting skins and battle passes because they make more money over time.
Yeah.
Like Apex, they don't have that system.
Wow. Okay.
So you buy the battle pass every month.
Oh,
And it's $15, $15, $15, $15, $15. Or not every month, every 3 months, I should say. But that's every year. That's $60. Dude, you're buying a new game every year.
Yeah. Oh, fuck that. I do mental.
Oh, I do that quick math. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I don't need skins. What do I need skins for?
Okay, what the fuck? What?
I'm good. I don't need skins. Like I'm already good at the game. I don't
There'll be things.
need to flex.
And